Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tony Talks and Get Up and Grow, where I have conversations with inspirational leaders, influencers, and change makers. People that aren't just doing well in life, but they're also doing good in the world. And these are conversations that I'm having with people that are friends of mine. This is a two-way conversation, or rather three-way, I should say. It's with myself and my guest, but also with you. So feel free to ask questions, make comments, and we'll have a great time with it. So today I have the pleasure of having on for the third or fourth time a good friend of mine. Her name is Jan Hargrave. She is the premier world expert in body language, the body language expert herself, Miss Jan Hargrave. How are you, Jan?
I'm good, Tony. How are you?
I'm better now. Always
It's
great.
good to see you. I'm glad to be with you. Let's have some fun today, change this whole energy around and just laugh and learn.
Absolutely. And today, for those who may not have read the intro, we are going to dive into two things that are super fascinating. One is, what does your sleep position say about your relationship, which I think is fantastic. And the other thing is that I didn't even know that Miss Jan Hargrave did this. We're going to be doing some dream analysis. So I'm excited to have Jan on. And I'm sure we're going to laugh and talk about some other things. And she's going to check on me if I'm, like doing anything that I shouldn't be doing, touching my face or giving away any of those other things. I think it's just fantastic, Jan. It's so much fun to have you here each and every time. And today is just a great topic. So with that said, the one and only Miss Jan Hargrave.
Thank you, Tony. This is an interesting topic, sleep positions, because your body probably speaks to others while you're sleeping, although you don't know that. And we get our sleep position probably controlled about when we were teenagers. And then we stay with that sleeping position pretty much the rest of their lives. But when I had done this, and I did it one time for an NBC show here, and I also had done it for a Steve Harvey show when Steve had his talk show. And so it was really fun because we had pictures on the wall, people sleeping different ways. He had a pointer. It was the first time he'd ever used a pointer. He was so excited to be able to just kind of move that girl's butt just a little bit, So he was like, Danny, look, if we moved it a little bit more here, look what would happen. So, in the world of body language, I guess not only does our body communicate to others when we're walking and we're talking and we're in meetings with them, it also talks when we're sleeping. And there's an old proverb that says, and I want to say it to you correctly, the king sleeps on his back, the wise man sleeps on his side, and the rich man sleeps on his stomach. So does that give you some kind of indicator, Tony, about what people do with their money and with their time? So the king is always on his back. The wise man is typically on his side, because it's wiser if you would sleep on your left side, because it's better for your internal organs, your liver and your blood flows better. So that's maybe why the wise man sleeps on his side. And then the rich man sleeps on his stomach. And that's probably because he's trying to hide his bundles of cash, is what I kind of get from that proverb.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Interesting. Of course, it's also a dangerous position, right? To be on your stomach instead of on your back, because you can't see what's going on.
Right.
That's interesting. I do tend to be more of a side sleeper, sometimes on my back, but not very often. But
you on the left side or right side, Tony?
I do both. I do both. A lot of times, though, I do wake up on my left.
On your left, okay. Yeah, so we'll talk about that, and then you go to figure out what is your dominant sleeping position. I'll tell you how to figure it out too. But yeah, I mean, isn't it strange that we think of sleep positions, and also the way that you sleep with your spouse or your partner also tells something about the relationship. And that's kind of interesting, because sometimes things that we can't say in our waking lives, we can say in our sleeping lives. Or some things that we should say in our waking lives, we don't, that sometimes we get a chance to say them in our sleeping lives. And, and I studied dreams. I just really am into dreams and kind of figure out what happens to our mind when we let our egos just drift into the air and our mind is free and we can think about whatever we want to think about. And because everything that you dream about is supposed to help you in some kind of predicament that you're experiencing or some kind of predicament that you will maybe have in the future. And I even, as I studied this, because I was so interested in dreaming about people who had passed away, because my mom passed away about 1.5 years ago. And so I love it when I dream of mama. But when I dreamed of it, this is what it says in the research, that we are dreaming of them at that time because they want us to know that they're okay. They sometimes want to send us a message to maybe make us beware of a certain incident that may happen. And and then too, sometimes they just want to be close to us when they come to us in our dreams. So, people are sometimes afraid to dream of someone who's passed away, but it's a good thing to dream of someone who's passed away. That's kind of refreshing to know.
Yeah. I remember when I had, when my grandmother passed away, I remember, and it was such a lucid dream. I thought I actually woke up.
Yeah.
And looked, and I was in Portugal at the time. And I remember I looked up and at the door, and she was standing at the door smiling at me.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I just said hello, and I went back to sleep, kind of like, went back to sleep. And then I woke up in the morning, and, I went to bed knowing that she had passed.
Yeah.
I woke up, I'm like, oh my God, what was that? And I remember having woken up. So it's fascinating. I do believe wholeheartedly that, look, at the end of the day, regardless of what your belief is, our soul is energy, right? For whatever this life's energy is our soul. And, I don't know that we go anywhere except maybe just a different plateau or whatever, not to get into the religious side of that. I think being energy, I think that
and Tony, can you remember it? Oh, I'm sorry.
So good.
Oh, I just lost you. Tony, can you remember in the dream, was she the age that she was when she passed away, or was she younger?
That's a good question. I think she was probably, she wasn't young, but she was, she wasn't hunched over.
Yeah. And so, Tony, you dreamed of her more healthy than when she really passed away. And it happens to me too. And I think that's the way that they let you know that, that they're okay. It's not that something that they're still in pain or that they can't walk anymore, is that they're okay. That's why you do dream of them. I guess that's the closest we'll get to people who, we can't really talk to them or know what they're experiencing right now. But I think that's one way that we get to feel them near us, and we get the support that we still need from them. And so I think it's always so wonderful. And yes, I too have had those vivid dreams like, wow, she didn't die. What is she doing still here? I thought she had passed away. That's how vivid the dreams can be. And a way to get you sometimes to dream of things that you want to dream of, because you think you just dream of, would be, let's say that evening before you go to sleep, would be either to pray to them really, or think about an occasion where you were with them and you were having fun and you could almost feel that gaiety and that joy you were experiencing. Having those emotions to you inside you before you go to bed can perhaps more so give the effect that you will dream about that person that night. So that's kind of good to know, I think.
It is. And it's honestly, it's almost comforting or reassuring. You do have a visit from, or you have a dream. I think I agree. I couldn't agree more, but you're the expert, but I couldn't agree more that when we dream of those that we've lost, that it's them coming back to visit or just to give us a message. So that's a beautiful way of looking at it. So yeah, I love it.
I think I was always interested in it. So I think for people who are maybe listening and with us today, thinking about how can they interpret their dream position or their sleeping position. Let's talk about sleeping positions first, and then I'll interpret the dreams for them. But think about how you can think about what your sleeping position is and what it says about you as a person, and also what it says about you and your partner together. So just a few facts. Okay, so the dreams that the way that you sleep, that's a way for you to express and experience some of the joys you have in life, some of the griefs you have in life, some of the loves you have in life, some of the hates even you have in life. And your sleep position is normally set about when you are a teenager. There are some differences as you get older, but predominantly they're set in when you're a teenager. And what I always have people do, I want them to note their sleep position at 3 points in the night. I like them to be aware of what position do they go to sleep in, because that tells me something about them. What position when they wake up in the middle of the night, maybe to go to the restroom, what's the position they are in then? And then I want them to note what's the position their body is in when they wake up in the morning. because sometimes you won't have the same for all three. But I think your true sleeping position is the position that you wake up in the morning. Because you might go into a certain position because you want to get close to your spouse, you want to move away because you're warm. And then during the night, you kind of get into that position that you are feeling most comfortable with. And then that's the position you wake up in the morning. So when you're going to analyze your position in just a few minutes, think about how you wake up. And that's what I want you to relate each position to. I think it'll give you more clarity on that. And
that's interesting. You know, and to echo some of the comments that were coming in just because of injuries. Growing up, I mean, I've never been. I used to have insomnia or never diagnosed, but I've never been a great sleeper. Even now, I wish I could sleep for 8 or 9 hours. I wish I can. You know, I just, unfortunately, my body just doesn't allow me to do that. I'd like to, even if I stay in bed, I just, you know, my body and my mind don't let me do that. But I used to be a belly sleeper when I was a kid.
Okay.
Fall asleep. But then I had a massive car accident, which I think I may have shared with you. And I had a lot of facial trauma and a lot of injury. And then I had to have surgery and everything else. So I had to sleep on my back. I had to, because it was just, I had to. It was not I just couldn't turn.
Right.
Learned to sleep on my back. So that I did change. And then because of some shoulder issues, like I still wake up a lot throughout the night. So I have a lot of different sleep positions, but it's mostly back, shoulder, or, you know, back, side. But how does, I guess, injuries would determine that as well, right?
Correct. Because when you wake up in the morning, what position are you in?
I'm usually on my side, on my right side. So
it just froze.
Yeah, I don't know if that's me or you. Hopefully,
I don't know. I hope not. I don't hope it's not me, but we'll see what we can do. We'll just keep going.
That's it. Let's just keep going.
Okay. So in the morning, you mostly wake up how?
On my right side.
On your right side, yeah. You know, it says that people who sleep on their right sides, they have more so heartburn.
Interesting. Well, to be honest, I sleep on the right. I wake up on the right because my wife sleeps on my right. So I do that, but I do wake up a lot. I wake up a lot as well on the left. So I really do both, but that's also because of like some shoulder stuff that I've got going on. So I'll wake up and move just because I'm in pain or I'm in discomfort.
And you're correct. I mean, Tony, sometimes in life, we just end up sleeping certain ways because of a health condition. I know me as a woman, you know, I want to sleep on my back because I don't dare sleep on this face and try to get a wrinkle in that face. So that's why you see women, we're like this, trying to get some good Z's and we're not even moving at all. But yes, but I prefer sleeping on my left side, but I mostly fall asleep, you know, on my back because I'm always aware about, oh my gosh, let's let our faces be pretty in the morning. But then end up turning and I'm on that left side in the morning with maybe a so that's mostly my sleeping positions. So let's think about even the things that you do before you go to bed.
I'm jealous of Liba. Look what she says. I don't move when I sleep. So I fall asleep is how I wake up. I am so jealous of you. I've got envy.
Yeah, and I need to know, they can send me notes about how they sleep so I can see. Now we can peer into people's bedrooms because the title of this is really talking underneath the sheets. Let's get under the sheets and talk for a while. But, you know, when I do this presentation, so when they send me, maybe they'll send me some of their sleeping positions so I can examine and look at. So I want to talk about nightly rituals for just a minute and how important they are. You know, we just put the phone here, I'll put some Kleenex here, and I'll put different things around me. But you know what? These are so needed because it is your time to start winding down. And the reason why people do nightly rituals of putting things around their bed, it serves as a reassurance to them that tomorrow will come. That's strange, but that's why we do that. And if we have part of our nightly ritual that we have forgotten to do, it's best to just get up and do it. No, you say, oh, I forgot to lock this door or something, and then you won't sleep good that night. So if you have some part of the nightly ritual that you notice you get in bed and you haven't done it, I would suggest that you get up and do it because it's going to reassure you and it's going to rest you. But that's really why we kind of get our little things around us. We put a book here and this and that. And so then even in the morning, you know how sometimes you wake up and then you really sleep really good after you woke up and it's 6:30 in the morning, you go back to sleep and it's the best sleep. It's because you have reassured yourself wow, the sun is up and it's another day and I'm still here. So that's a big part of why we do the nightly rituals, is to reassure ourselves that tomorrow we're going to wake up and we have a day ahead of us. So that's kind of important for people to know. And I want people to keep doing their nightly rituals on and on. And so what happens after you've done the nightly ritual, you kind of getting into this time where you starting to decompress. And the great thing is that you end up getting vertical instead of horizontal. So, I mean, you get horizontal instead of vertical. And just by laying horizontally, your vision of view, your world of view kind of gets stagnant and you just see one thing, just maybe the top of the ceiling or something of that sort. So that's all done to kind of reassure you, to kind of get you really quietened so that you can just get to bed and sleep. And then as I did the research, what I found was so funny. We never talk about it as the bed. It's either my bed. Oh, look at my bed. I can't wait to get into my bed. Or a couple will say that's our bed. I used to say that I was having an affair with my bed because I hated to leave it in the morning to get into it at night. That was probably an affair with my bed, don't you think, Tony? But it's true. That, I mean, and even in my sentence, I said my bed because, you know, it's such a endearing thing. But think about the bed. We're born in the bed. We make love in the bed. We are sick in the bed. We die in the bed. So then that bed is just, you know, something that we need to cherish. And we tend to love our beds because that's when we feel most comfortable. And even when we go to sleep in a hotel, you must make sure that in the hotel, you sleep on the same side of the bed that you do when you're at home. Because if you don't, let's say by accident, the door is near you want to sleep near the door in the hotel, whereas at home you don't. You need to really sleep in the same position that, or my husband sleeps more so on my right every night and we're in a hotel, he should be on my right side, because then we get into a comfortable state and then we start to relax. But just two little parts of that. And then, but you like the part about my bed?
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Yeah, well, and, you know what, you're right. We do have we have to, right? I think it's so important to have a good mattress and have a good place to sleep as well. We spend a third of our life. Most people spend a third of their life. Some people spend half. Some people spend half their life in bed, but we're not going to talk about
those. We spend a third of our life.
Yeah. So,
what are your nightly rituals? What do you do as your nightly ritual?
I drink a bottle of scotch, smoke 2 cigars. No, I'm joking. My nightly ritual usually, you know, the kids go to bed. I stay up watching a little TV. I go brush my teeth or drink a bottle of water. I usually drink some water, get a bottle of water, put a bottle of water next to me. And sometimes I'll leave some clothes out for me to go walking in the morning. But normally I'll bring a bottle of water and I'll just, shamefully, I do go on email and social media before going to bed. And my wife is nice, so she's not there every night, right? So, So
we probably all do, but you know, I was most concerned about what are the little things you have around you when you go to bed. Do you have your book? You have a book that you looked at that day and that you want to get back to tomorrow, or what are some little things you have around you when you go to bed?
You know, I do usually have a book there, even though I haven't been very good about reading them. I'm more listening to books these days. So sometimes I'll actually listen to an audiobook. Sometimes I'll use Pazziz to help me go to sleep.
Okay.
I have a beamer mat, so sometimes I'll jump on the beamer mat. One of the things I've been doing a lot is I get into the static back position, if Vygotsky, where you just sit. Yeah, you just sit. I'll put my legs over my bed and I'll just sit with my back of my legs up against the bed, and so your legs are on top and your butt is up against the bed, and you're just laying your hands open because it helps relax your back and helps you reset. For back pain, it's been fantastic. So I'll do that, and then I'll just lay down and I'll try to get some sleep. And I actually go to sleep faster now than I ever have. But I just wake up early, and my mind wakes up early and doesn't let me go back to sleep. When my wife, however, loves to have the TV on, which is a little. I'm still not used to it.
You know what? Supposedly, if the TV is on while you're sleeping, your mind is still trying to process the information that it subconsciously hears.
Wow.
So it would be wiser to let your brain rest to get it. But I know it's kind of soothing to fall asleep to the sound of a TV. But if you keep it on for too long, it might just stay with you and your mind will be just too busy during that whole night and you won't rest at all.
I really dislike waking up early and the news is on. That's like the worst. I asked you, do me a favor, don't leave it on, put it on Comedy Central or HBO or something. I'd rather wake up to.
And when you wake up, what do you wake up to? Is it an alarm clock or is it a song?
It's an alarm clock. Sometimes it is a song, depending on which one. Because if it's a regular time, it's usually an alarm. If it's just an off time, sometimes it's a song.
Me too. Sometimes I just wake up. Last night I was setting my clock because I had an early meeting this morning, and I don't download music. I might have 2 songs on there, and the one that I have on there that I wake up to, I don't know if you know Sammy Kershaw, but I see some people from Louisiana listening to this. He did a song called "You Are the Love of My Life." You know that song? But I'm a friend of Sammy's, and we were good friends in grade school. So then I know him, and one time I saw him.
It sounds familiar, but can you sing a little bit of it? I want to hear.
God, I don't know. You are the love of, I don't know. You Are the Love of My Life by Sammy Kershaw. You need to just listen to it. But that's because I downloaded it one time when I saw him at an airport, and that's about the only thing I have on my phone. And so that's what, if I wake up to one song, that'll be the song that I wake up to.
It's a great song to wake up to.
Yeah, You Are the Love of My Life. He probably was thinking about me when he wrote that song anyway, because he did have a crush on me. He'd ride his bicycle and chase me all over to the city. So yeah, we were kids. We were just kids. So it was really fun. But that's how sometimes I wake up. So a few other things that maybe I could mention. So we usually stay in the same position most of the night. Only 5% of people lay differently. We spend about 1/3 of our lives sleeping. Only 1 in 10 people sleep in what's called the mummy position, where they cover their whole head and their body. And usually when someone sleeps that way, it means like they want to, the world is bothering them, and they want to just get away from everything. And so they kind of get in this position. Sometimes their troubles are almost too big and they'll never be able to succeed, so they kind of hide in a hole this ways.
Interesting.
And then as we talk about couples and couples relationships, as I said, things that we can't say in the day, we try to say sometimes at night. It is good to have a little bit of touch, whether it's 2 toes touching, or you're touching your toes, you're touching your butt, you're touching maybe an ankle, because anytime you have that physical touch, of course, your body releases this hormone called oxytocin. Of course, it's the love hormone, the cuddle hormone. It makes you feel good. So just that little security of maybe holding on to someone while you're sleeping is pretty good. And I think that our sleeping patterns nowadays, really began from old time in caveman times, because in caveman times, the man always slept closer to the door because he was the protector of the family. So you might notice in some homes that the husband will sleep, or the man will sleep close to the door, the protector, to protect everyone else who's in the home. Also, never switch positions if you're in a hotel, as I said. And then women, when their husbands or spouses or partners are away, well, often you will hear about this scoot into that person's position, because the scent of them stays with you, because the scent of a person and the scent of a cake or the scent of something cooking, that scent sometimes stays with you much longer than just the memories of that person. Because there was an experiment done where people were working out at a gym, and I don't remember all the specifics, but they left a towel that a young man who had wiped himself, just briefly with, they left it somewhere that somebody would pick up every day, and they would just smell it. As they wipe themselves, they just kind of smell themselves this way, or put the smell on them. And this young man had so many women attracted to him. They were just trying to do this experiment of how does it really work. And I can't remember the word. It's olfactory nerve, or scent.
The olfactory.
Yes, that smell that you have, or just the scent of, because if you can remember thinking of your mama making a cake or baking cookies, and the smell or your grandmother more so, and that smell, and you still smell it today, that same memory and that same feeling is going to come back over you. So just wanted to tell you that's why maybe a woman will spread out. And then a man more so likes to spread out a lot, because he is the king of the castle. And then people often ask me about sleepwalkers. Do you know that you're not dreaming when you're sleepwalking? People sleepwalk because they're trying to find a place where they felt real safe, or that they enjoyed being, and they're trying to get back to that place. And you should not wake up a sleepwalker. You should just gently bring them back to the bed. Because when you're dreaming, you're kind of in a paralyzed state. And you can't be in a paralyzed state sleepwalking. So that's why there's a difference. Sleepwalkers are not dreaming. They're trying to get into a spot that was comfortable for them. So now that you know all this about people and sleeping, now Tony, you can have a really peaceful and restful sleep tonight. So let's talk about couples. Let's talk about some couples. And I have 6, 7, maybe 8 styles. So the first one is what I call the leg loop. And the leg loop is where you're sleeping with your spouse or your partner back to back. And the only thing that's happening is that the ankles are looped over each other. So this is what it says about the leg loop. It's probably the healthiest position. It's probably a very comfortable connection. You're not breathing down each other's necks, but at least you're touching them a bit. There's a real friendship that's involved between the two, and you're very confident in the relationship. So it doesn't take much touching. It's just kind of letting you know that, oh, he's there, I'm there, and we have some kind of connection, but it's not binding, and they're pretty much each their own independent people. So that one's called the leg loop. They're facing away from each other, but just the ankles are crossing over each other. The second one that I like to tell people about, of course, is called the old-fashioned spoon. And of course, in an old-fashioned spoon, there's a spooner and there's a spoonee. So whoever's in the back, of course, is called the spooner, and whoever's in the front is called the spoonee. And when you see couples sleeping this way, or if you sleep this way with your spouse, normally it means that one is more protective of the other. And maybe the spoonee, the one who's staying inside, she or he probably more often feels that they need to be told often and that they're liked and that they're admired and that they're treasured. So if you know someone, or if your spouse does sleep that way, that's just one of the ingredients that makes them them. So if you see that they're sleeping that way and they're coming into this little cuddle zone with you, they need to be more so reassured more than you do. And the one who's outside, of course, is the more independent one, the one who's more protecting the other person. And just it really shows that they are in sync with each other too. And then I have one that I add on to this, just a sleeping style number 2. It's called the old-fashioned. It's called the chasing spoon, Tony, where one is in the corner of the bed and facing outward, and the other is just edging onto them. So this person's trying to get to this person. So they're kind of chasing you so that they can protect you, and you don't sometimes want that protection. So that's kind of a fun one. Another one now, sleeping style number 3, is called the roam zone. And the roam zone is where the couple start off sleeping facing opposite of each other in the bed and never touch throughout the night. So they just sleep and they never touch. So it's not that negative, but if it continues and continues that way, that they never face each other and they never maybe at least touch each other, there could be trouble in the relationship. It just shows that it's really independent people who maybe are not that much into getting connected, on a deeper level with the person. So that's, and I don't want to say that it's negative, but it's called the Rome. It's called a Rome style, where they're each in their own positions and never ever touch or face each other. I don't want to say get a divorce, but there could be trouble in the marriage if they never ever touch or talk. Sleeping style number 4 is called the booty bond. Booty bond, Tony, you're going to love this one. And the booty bond is where just the butts of the people are touching. So the great thing about this one is that they're connected, but they're so independent that they can make enormous financial decisions without asking the other's approval. One could buy a car and then come home later, oh, I just bought a car today. I mean, they're tight this way, but boy, they are really, really independent in this position. And also with that, I just said they joined at the hip, but they're very, very independent. So if they touch just at the butt, it's different from people just touching and holding their ankles onto each other. It's kind of a fun little position. And I saw when I did this with Steve Harvey, he had that pointer and he was making those butts kind of just meet each other in the back. Okay, sleep position number 5, and this is called the regal pose. And the regal pose, of course, is when someone just spreads the arms out and wants to sleep, in this position the whole night. And it's like a king, someone sleeping like this and just laying back and not moving at all. But typically when someone does sleep this way, you'll have a partner who does edge up and gets real close to it. So it's called the regal position, but there's also a cuddling person that's involved in there. So it just kind of makes sense. It is what it says. The one who's in the king position is one who sets the rules in the family, disciplines the children, is typically in charge. the one who is in the cuddle position is more so the one who wants to be, closer, wants to be told that they're needed, that they're protected, that they're loved, and that they're cherished. So you'll see that happen a lot. They're just cozying up to the other person. You're smiling. Does your wife sleep this way?
No, that is so interesting.
Yeah. Does your wife sleep this way?
I sleep that way sometimes, but I can't stay that way because my shoulders,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But,
So the one who's in the center more so needs attention from the other. And then a sleeping style number 6 is what I call the honeymoon couple style. It usually just happens when people are early in a relationship and they're just glued together, frontal, face and arms, and they're just hugging and hugging. Typically, couples will stay this way 9 months. It's just funny. It's the time to have a baby, but usually, I know it's crazy, but that's what it says in the research, that they stay in this position for 9 months and then they go back to their own, only because it's more comfortable when they're getting it, but if they want to stay hooked up and intertwined for the whole evening, that's perfectly okay. It says that they're desperate for each other when they sleep in this position. And then we have what's called the unraveling knot, where they start real tight and then they edge away. And so right here, you're showing independence, but a really, really close connection when the evening starts. So those are some of the basic positions. People who tend to hang their one foot out of the bed means that they might want to be rescued, that they want to get pulled, but it's not a good trait because usually when we pass away, we're drugged feet first. So I would never suggest that someone hang their feet out on the bed when they're sleeping,
Not
never.
Good. Not good. That's fascinating. It's fascinating. I'd say that, what was the last one? The unraveling knot. That's a good one.
Unraveling knot, where they start real tight and then they kind of, get away from each other. And so, unless someone makes us aware of the way that we sleep, we don't think about it. We just think, oh, I'm just going to go to bed. And let's think, when we were kids, we could just go to bed. We'd say, oh, I'm going to bed. Now to go to bed, you have to clean your face. You have to, you have to do so many things to get ready for bed. You remember that, Tony? Yeah, As a kid, you could just go to bed.
I still don't take the makeup
off. But now
I just go to bed with the makeup.
So am I correct?
No, you're right. There's always a process. It's funny that you say that, though. My youngest son, still sleeps this way with his legs up and crossed. Like it looks like he's good, and he'll sleep like this with his legs crossed, and he'll just sleep like that the whole time.
Are his legs flat on the bed, or are they up?
No, they're up.
Oh, they're up. Man, that takes a lot of power to keep that up for the whole night.
Yeah.
And that his feet didn't fall asleep. His body didn't fall asleep. Look, he is asleep, but we don't want his body or foot to fall asleep, because then he'll get up in the morning, he won't be able to stand up. Right. So let me go over individual body positions. And the great thing is that for those of you who are listening, if you do want a copy of this, some kind of way, Tony, I guess we can get them, because I have all the positions. Let me see if I can see the picture here.
Guys,
see all the different positions.
Yeah, I have. You sent it to me. So if you guys want to message me your email address, your name and email, just DM me and I'll email that out to you guys.
The handout, okay.
Whoever,
so taking in the individual sleeping positions, and then you can couple these with other kind of positions too. So I'm going to talk about these, and there's 6 of these, and I've added a couple that I've invented or thought of too. So remember, though, the king sleeps on his back, the wise man sleeps on his side, and so these are individual sleeping positions, and you can see how that does lay correctly. So the first one I want to talk about is what's called the semi-fetal position. And the semi-fetal position is exactly what it says, just like you're a baby in a womb. So the tighter the fetal position is, the tighter that person is about everything that happens in their lives. If you're in a comfortable fetal position, you can just say, oh, I sleep like a baby, because that's how you slept when you were in the womb. It says 41% of people sleep in that position and stay that way, throughout the night and throughout their lives. And even adults who sleep this way, these are sensitive individuals. They tend to get their feelings hurt really easily too. So we have to be careful of that. They're shy. They have a real desire for protection throughout their lives. So as a parent, even listening to this, wouldn't it be interesting to think about how your children are sleeping right now, and then take the research that we have found and then put that to work? Now,
I say that's fascinating. I'm definitely going to pay more attention to how they're both sleeping. You
You
know,
know what? You probably set up a camera and watch them sleep for the whole night, and then and then analyze it tomorrow morning.
well, they're teenagers. I don't know if we want to set up a camera in their room. But so
True.
I will say this, you know, when somebody tells me, oh, last night I slept like a baby, you know, my response is,
What?
You peed the bed and you cried yourself to sleep.
Yeah, you peed. And you know what? I think it was a coach of, I think it was Alabama team. He was facing a really tough season that year, and they said, or maybe it was Lou Holtz. I can't remember who said it. And they said, well, how do you sleep at night? It's such a hard schedule. He said, I sleep just like a baby. He said, I get up every 3 hours and I cry.
So and cry yourself to sleep. That's
just like crying yourself to sleep in the bed. So that was called the fetal position. The next one is called the log position. A log position is where you're straight. I mean, you're sleeping on a side, but everything is exactly even. So think what happens when someone's sleeping that way. That regimented asleep tells you that that person is very regimented in their life. They're probably organized. They're always on time for meetings. When you talk with them, they'll probably number their sentences. Well, number one, we need to do this. And number two, we need to do this. Number three, we need to do this. Because if they sleep that straight in their lives, 15% of people sleep this way, that everything is exactly alike, then their sleeping position has a lot to do with how they behave when they're with other people. So it is called the log position. And sometimes they're not as severe as a straight sandwich, you know, side to side. The sandwich is really uptight, even in their day lives. So they're even uptight in their sleeping lives. But that's called the log position or the sandwich position. They're really loyal individuals, though. And if they tell you they're going to do something, by golly, they're going to do it for you. The third one that I often observe, it's sleep position number 3, and it's called a yearner position. And what happens is that you're on the side, but your body, your legs are straight, but your arms are reaching far out like this, reaching far out. You know, you're sleeping like this, but your arms are straight. They're not near you. They're out in front of you. It's called a yearner position. It is exactly what it says. These people more so are reaching. They're builders. They like constructive criticism. They want to be the best. They want to achieve everything. They're like cliffhangers. They won't give up easily. 13% of people sleep this way, and it's called the yearning position, where you're just reaching out and your hands are in front of you instead of being close to you this way. We all feel secure when our hands are close to our body, because when our hands are close to our body, we're protecting our deep, wonderful, vital organs. We're protecting our heart, our liver, our kidneys are all right here, our lungs. So that brings us safety. So that's why that first one that was called the fetal position was, sleep like a baby, because that's how we were in the womb. We're kind of protecting ourselves this way. And I'm sure parents who have gone through pregnancies, maybe a mother will say, my baby sure didn't sleep in the fetal position because he was kicking the whole time. But more so, they're in this kind of position that they're probably kicking also too. Okay, let's go on to position number 4. Position number 4 is called the soldier position. The soldier position is very similar to the king, but instead of having the arms here, the arms are straight on the side of the body. And these people it's kind of a royal position. They are the ones who have high standards, and they follow rules to a T. That's why it's called the soldier position. The arms are not free. The arms are right on the side of the body, just like you'd be a soldier. So if you have someone like that, or you have a child like that, it just says, they have little or no self-doubt. They want to rule their universe. They usually get whatever they ask for because they're stubborn in a sense. 18% of people sleep in this manner. The next one is called the free fall, and that's maybe what the way you sleep, Tony. It's position number sleep called the free fall, and that's where you're on your stomach. You're on your stomach, and your arms are up, and they're on the sides of your face this way. And sometimes your face is buried to one side or buried to the other side. And what the free fall says with this position, this is the funnest of the personalities. This person is gay and fun and lively and talks a lot and is animated, and during the day they're all over the place. So they work themselves so hard during the day that by the time they go to bed, they just want to pass out. It's called the free fall position. They're brash, they're outgoing, they're gregarious. 7% of people sleep in this position. But for ladies, we might not want to sleep on our faces. And then the one that goes along with this one for the people who sleep on their stomach is called the Sphinx. And the Sphinx is that when you are on on your stomach, but your knees and your hands are close to your body, and you're in this almost fetal position, but your back is up against the wall. People who sleep this way are so concerned with getting a bit of sleep so they can go fight the battles they have to fight the next day and really don't rest. So they're like sleeping real tight and real hurriedly and real fast, and their back is to the wall, just like in their day life. Sometimes their back is to the wall and they can't make any movement or nudge from there. And then the last one here, number 6, the starfish position. The starfish position is just free for all. And people who sleep crosswise in a bed, people don't sleep this way, they sleep kind of crosswise. This is what it says about these people. They have a carefree manner. They're easygoing. They never need to be the center of attention. They're very loyal. They make the best friends. They're the best. They're very eager to lend a hand to other people too. So I think kind of understanding those positions and how you are, but I want people to start noticing, what position is my body when I fall asleep? What position is my body when I wake up during the night, maybe to take a restroom break? And what position is my body when I wake up in the morning? And just start noticing those 3 and noticing if there are similarities between the first, second, and the third. But I think the true analogy of how you sleep is going to be how you wake up in the morning. That's going to be the true analogy of how you can gauge yourself and see how you sleep. So now let's talk about dreams, Tony. Let's analyze it. Then you can tell me some good dreams that you.
That's your question. How do you sleep? You sleep on your side primarily, you said, right?
Yes.
Do you go to sleep on your back originally? How about your husband?
On my back. I go to sleep on my back. Cecil sleeps towards the right side because he's like you. He has a shoulder that's injured in the left, so he always sleeps facing that away. So he is this sometimes. Magnificent Jan and the spooner. I'm protecting little Cecil, and Cecil's way bigger than I am, so I don't know why I have to do. He likes me to do that, but he is the spoonie sometimes, and I'm the spooner. So then I sleep on my back, and then by the end of the morning, I'm kind of. But boy, I don't want to sleep on that face, Tony, all night long. I'm trying to push it this way.
I see. That's why I have the wrinkles, because sometimes I sleep on my face. It's terrible.
Oh, that's okay, Tony. You can sleep any way you want to sleep. Just want to tell you that. So let's think about dreams for a minute. Let me just give you a few facts about dreams. Your typical dreams last between 15 minutes and 40 minutes. And most dreams are reoccurring dreams. So if you're falling off a cliff, you're going to dream that dream probably all of your life. And dreams, again, they will mirror things that are happening in your everyday lives, but they reveal a lot about your problems, your concerns. And, we get all these gibberish things, and sometimes a dream will happen in one place of the house and another place of the house. But everything you dream about has some significance to you in your normal life, in your everyday life. And when you're dreaming, that's a wonderful time because your ego is just gone and you are free. Because I'm sure you've had some dreams about you got in front of an audience to speak. I've had those sometimes, and I don't have any clothes on. And so I'm like erratic, like, how can I get on this stage and my clothes are not on me? I'll tell you what that means, what it does mean about me, though, too. But I mean, we've had dreams that way, or that we're falling, or we're in an elevator and the elevator's going down. I've dreamed I've flown an airplane. So the thing about having dreams, it's that it lets you go of all of your fears and all of your concerns, all of your doubts, and you can just probably accomplish most anything is what it's telling you. And the best way to think and recall your dreams is when you wake up in the morning, just sit there for a few seconds and let it go through your mind about, oh, what did I dream about last night? And think about what you dreamed about, and think about how you can use what you dreamed about to help you to overcome something that next day, overcome a problem that's going to happen to you the next week. And I like to write some of my dreams down. So after my mom passed away, I started writing my dreams down of Mama. I don't write other dreams, but I just want to keep those because they're very dear to me. And so, and they sometimes make sense, because if you dream of a person who's passed away, it typically says they're trying to warn you of a situation you should not get into. They're also just trying to let you know they want to visit with you, and they want to let you know that they're in good health and that they're thinking about you. So they're soothing when you have those kinds of dreams. So I'll go through a few of the most common that people dream about. And I guess one is being chased. Ever dream that you're being chased? If you dream that you're being chased, it says really the chase is an emotion that you have that you cannot get control of. That's what it means. When something you're being chased is the emotion that you have, and you don't know how to tell people you have that emotion. It might mean that you love someone a lot and you don't want to know how to tell them, or that you're having to fire someone, you don't want to tell them, but it's some kind of emotion that you're having in your head and you can rid of it. It just says that you're running away from something is really what it is when you're having a dream that someone's chasing you. The one about being naked in public, which is one that I have. Have you ever had that dream, Tony?
I remember growing up, I specifically would dream about being like 2-3 blocks from home and not be wearing pants or barefoot. Or I'm like, how the hell did I forget to put my pants on? And I used to have that dream a lot as a kid for whatever reason. It was really bizarre.
Well, when you dream of being somewhere naked, it means that you're afraid of exposure of something in your life. Maybe you were caught in embezzlement. You don't want anybody to know about your embezzlement, but you have to kind of reassure yourself when you're up there to say, there's nothing you have to be afraid of. You know, you just kind of have, it's like you have to reassure yourself, but it's something that you're afraid of being exposed to. Could be a disease, could be a person, but it symbolizes, that's exactly what it symbolizes. The next one is falling. And I'm sure everybody's had a dream about falling, but falling means, if you're dreaming of falling, it symbolizes you're losing control of something. Something's getting away from you. You need to stop what you're doing and maybe go back and research and go back over the situation and see what it is. And if you want to capture it, you have to do it quickly. And there's a difference in a slow fall and a fast fall. A slow fall is really a serenity that you have left what was bothering you. Now you're going back down to earth. A fast fall means that your life is almost out of control. So people have to remember that. Being late to a meeting is representing some kind of worry or anxiety that's going on in your life. So you might want to think about that. One that people often dream about is teeth falling out. Have you ever dreamed that your teeth are falling out?
You know, I don't know that I ever dreamt that, but I've always heard that dreaming of teeth. This was, you know, I've heard this from my parents for years. Dreaming of teeth or dreaming of snakes is not good.
Well, teeth have something. Teeth are in direct correlation to teeth falling out is in direct correlation to confidence that you have. So if you feel that your teeth are falling out, if something happened that knocked you off your loop and maybe you've lost confidence in yourself for just a few minutes. I mean, you can get it back, but this is what it says. The teeth are symbolic of how confident and powerful you feel. Falling teeth represent that you are doubting yourself. These dreams reflect anxieties about your appearance and how others perceive you. I think to know. Another one that I put down here is water. If you keep dreaming about water, water represents emotions. So it either means that something's happening in your life, and you always have to think about what is the quality of the water. Is the water that you're dreaming about, is it clean water or is it muddy water? So if it's clean water, it presumably means that if you have an emotion, you know how to express it. Muddy water is that you have an emotion that maybe you don't know how to express or you're concealing from other people. So I think that water is kind of interesting to dream about. Another one that I often dream about and think that people dream about is dreaming about being in a house, some kind of house somewhere. House represents the temple of the mind, and the room that you dream that you're in has something to do with the outcome that you want to feel. So in other words, if you dream that you're in the attic and you're experiencing your dream there, it has something to do with your intellect. If you dream that you're in the basement, it means that you're neglecting some issues that are in your life. If you dream that you're in the bedroom, it means that it's something about your intimate relationship that you want to flourish or for it to be better for you. But so the mind is the house is your mental state. It's the temple of your mind. And think about what room you're in. And one thing that I caution people with when you're dreaming, are you the main character or is someone else the main character and you're just watching? Because that has some effect on how you see yourself too. I hope that you're always the main character because I want everybody to be a star in their own dreams. So just think about that when you have a dream and maybe you're writing it down the next day. Think about, you know, they want a new start in life. They want something to start over for them. It also is indicative of someone who wants to have a baby. So if you're dreaming, if your wife's dreaming about babies, look out. Another one is flying. I used to dream I could fly. I could just fly by myself. And I
dream that I was flying. Yeah, that was a dream that I did have when I was younger, for sure.
No, you know what it means? It means that you're free and unburdened. It means that you can look over everyone having problems and you're just so happy that you don't have the problems that they have. That's what it means. You're dreaming of. So it's great when you dream of being free. If you dream of flying, it's a wonderful thing. Some people had called me and asked about this one. That's why I included it. You cannot find a toilet. You're dreaming that You just want to get to that toilet. You want to get to that toilet, but boy, you just can't get. You just can't get there. You know what it says? It says it's when you dream about not finding a toilet, it means that you have a hard time expressing your needs, and you have too many demands on you from other people. So you need to tell people to just bug off of you for a while.
That's great.
Let me give you a few other fun ones. If you're dreaming of, or that you're frightened to get on an airplane, a flight, it means that your goals are too high. You have to kind of calm down and just, settle them for a bit. What about hanging out with a celebrity? You ever dream you hung out with like Tom Cruise or Beyonce or so? You ever dream you hung out with a celebrity?
Well, I was going to leave this question to the end, but I don't remember my dreams most of the time.
Okay.
And it was just in the very beginning, very early in the morning, like as soon as I wake up, and then they're gone. And I'm like, I dreamt of, and I may remember what like the topic. I dreamt that this person was in or that, but I don't remember. Most of the time, I don't remember my dreams.
You know what? I bet you're going to dream tonight. And I want you to send me a note tomorrow morning and tell me what you dreamed about so I can analyze it for you.
That'd be great. Okay. Yeah.
I want to just see, because if you dream about like a sports figure, a movie star, what it says, which is good, because sometimes I dream about Beyonce, but it says that we have values that mimic their values. And it also says that we have a little bit of a need for recognition when we dream about, being with a star. So it says your values mimic theirs. You strive to be like that person, and you feel a little bit of a need for recognition. What about dreaming that you're always late for a meeting? Oh gosh, we've had that. You know what it means? It means you have too much on your plate. You're always like trying to get there, and you can't get there at all. Or if you dream about sex, I have even sex here. It's usually an outlet for sexual expression. You're looking for answers for a current or potential relationship when you dream about sex. Or what about if you dream about an old boyfriend or old girlfriend? You know what it means? Something happened that day that made you just feel an emotion that you felt when you were with them. And oftentimes you dream about them that night. Not that you ever want to get back with them, but that's what it means too. If you dream if you find a key in your dream, it means that you found your soulmate. So there's so many crazy things about dreams. If you dream about spiders, it means your relationship is too heavy. You might need to be out of that. Let me see what's a kind of funny one. If you dream that you're driving a car.
Yeah, or if you're dreaming about snakes, what does that mean?
It's like with a spider. You know what it says when you're with a spider? It's that, let me tell you what it says, that you have a fear of an authority figure, or the relationship that you're thinking about is too heavy for you. It highlights a relationship that is too heavy for you. So anytime you dream about spiders or an animal that's destructive, some kind of relationship that you're in, business associated or something, might be a little too heavy for you. It's weighing you down. Yeah.
That's funny, because I've always heard that dreaming of teeth falling out or dreaming of snakes is not good. That's all. My mom goes, "Oh, it's bad. It's bad." I'm like, okay, it's bad.
Hey, with Tony, the good thing is that our mind stays so busy in the day that isn't it wonderful that we're smart enough that we can just have these wild experiences at night when we sleep, and you can make them fun, but then sometimes they do give you some answers of maybe things that are happening in your life, and you say, wow, maybe I should leave that alone. So that's why I always tell people, kind of watch everything you do. Watch the way you sleep, watch what you dream about, because all of that has some manifestation how you are the next day.
Yeah, or maybe go to sleep with the intention of remembering your dreams. One of the places that I think of a lot, and I tend to just come up with ideas and thoughts is in the shower, right? In the morning. Like wake up, and so you're still kind of in that mode. But I love the suggestion that you make of wake up in the morning, just stop for a minute and think, what was my dream last night, and then write it down.
Yeah, just kind of organize it, Tony. Just but it won't be organized, because you might see someone in one room in your house, and you'll see them again later driving a car, but something that connects the two together. So I see we have a note that said, so interesting. As a kid, I always dreamed that I was sitting on a huge stack of chairs, that I was falling off of it, but I just kept falling. So, falling down, I hope that this is Liba who said that notion. So Liba, I hope that I covered about falling down, and think of the fall. If it's a fast fall, it's like everything's out of control. If it's a softer fall, it's kind of like you're just letting go of something that's been burdening you. So that's a good. So I'm glad that yes, Lee, but send me your dream tomorrow. I'm going to analyze it for you. It's jan@janhargrave.com.
Yeah, and Todd said sometimes he dreams of drowning.
Oh, drown! No, oh my God, it's scary. You're frightened of something. Something's going on that they're frightened of. So, and I don't know. They need to take in fact the quality of the water. Is the water clear? Is the water muddy? If it's muddy, it's worse. But if it's clear, you find your way out of it. You see, if it's muddy, it's a little bit more dangerous for you.
Oh, yeah, I've always thought that when you dream of water, that you're drowning specifically, is that you're just overwhelmed. Yeah. You feel like you're drowning in business and in life. But
think of the quality of the water. Think of the quality of the water too, Tony. If it's clear, you're going to get out of it. If it's clear, you can see it and you're kind of enjoying it. If it's muddy, it's a little bit more dangerous a situation for you.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about dreams, sometimes, like I said, I'll remember them in the morning and then they'll be gone. But I remember at times, you know, I wake up, I'm like, oh, I don't want to wake up yet. I want to go back to that dream. And every now and then I can close my eyes and go back to it.
Oh, that's a good thing. Me too. Or or you ever had a dream and when you woke up, you ever had a dream and when you woke up, you were so glad it was a dream? I've had that too.
I've had that too.
Me too. I was like, oh wow, that was just
in the morning, and to say, oh, was that a dream? Oh shit, yeah. What's really going on?
Yeah. And then we have some dreams that we'd like to get back to, but I think the great thing that we have to remember, because we all have parents and we all have grandparents, so welcome those dreams when you have those. Those are good.
Yeah. No. And I do love to remember my dreams. I've heard it once before, and I don't know if you can validate this or not. They say when you can't remember your dreams, it's either too bad, scary, and your mind is protecting you, or you're just having too much damn fun, one or the other. I'm like, but that's not good, because if I don't remember any of my dreams, I don't know.
Yeah. If you can't remember your dreams, it means you had too many that night, and they're all jumbled together. But I think that most of us have little dreams throughout the night, little spurts of dreams. Some we won't remember because they were all just kind of mumbled together. But you probably have dreams every night. And it's just experiences that you've had. So I see Jackie said, what about an old love? Oh, yeah, Jackie, that's a good dream, girl. Go ahead. Predominantly when you dream about an old love, it means something. It could be a movie that you saw that day that made or feeling that you had when you were with that person, and it's going to make you dream of them just for a fleeting moment. It's not that you ever want to go back to them, but it's something. It was some good feeling, you know. Maybe it was that you were running to meet them at an airport or something. But that's what it means. You dream about an old love.
Yeah, I think that is fascinating. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll tell my wife, I remember, I dreamt of this, because and she'll probably remember the dream later, but I won't, because I told her about it. She's like, oh, I gotta see what that means. And she'll look it up, and I'm like, oh, it kind of makes sense. Doesn't make any sense, whatever. But I think it's fascinating, because I think we really do connect to energies, and you can cross wires with people, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember sometimes just, when my kids were small, and, they're kind of sleeping next to you, and you can kind of like mimic their breathing rhythms. And it's just fascinating stuff that you can connect with energies in that way. And I think that you can communicate. I think that right. we're so much freer. There was a movie years ago, What Dreams May Come. Do you remember that movie?
No, but tell me about it.
It was with Robin Williams.
Okay. And
in his dream world, it was just, everything was perfect, and they can create whatever it is in their dream. And that's the beauty of being in your dream. If you can somehow, when you're dreaming, this is like super hard. I mean, I don't even, every now and then you feel like you're in control, and you can create whatever your dreams are. The reality of it is, we can, if we had the ability to create our thought patterns, we probably could create our dreams and like live our fantasies. And because many of us do live our fantasies in our dreams, right? And,
right.
And sometimes we then wake up and make those dreams a reality. We take what we dreamt about, we make it a reality. As a matter of fact, one of the things I say all the time, the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up and chase them, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Tony. Because dreams can come true. It's like that. I guess it was some songs. Dreams can come true. So if you're dreaming of something that really comes often for you, a reoccurring dream, that's something that you need to go after in your life. And sometimes when there's someone you dream of and you want to dream of, I mean, just as much as you can before you go to bed at night, think about them. But you got to feel an emotion that person made you feel. And you can probably get yourself to have a dream about them. Yeah. And Lee, but we talked about when people dream of people dying. When dream of people dying, it could be that there's an end to something coming on. It's not necessarily meaning that person will die. It means that there will be an end to whatever problem she may be having in her life that day, that week, that month.
Yeah, but I love it. The idea of go to bed, think about something. I remember I used to do that as a kid, and that kids do that. They go to sleep and they dream about they're thinking about that, they're obsessing about it. And then when you obsess about something, certainly before you go to sleep, I think there's a bigger chance that you're going to be able to dream about whatever that was. The same way, if you're watching a movie, you fall asleep and the movie's going on, you're dreaming and you're like the action character in that movie, or maybe you're running away from Freddy Krueger or whatever.
When we were children, we were dreaming about what we were getting for Christmas, and we would think about it all day. I bet we probably dreamed about it sometimes. Remember when you were a kid, you might have wanted something for Christmas, and then you would dream probably about it. So I think it's good. I usually end it. What's a good song to end with? Hush, little baby, don't you cry. How does it go, Tony? Hush, little baby.
Rock-a-bye baby, rock-a-bye baby. Listen, so many of these children's.
When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. That's a good way. When I was teaching school, every Friday I'd sing the song Happy Trails to my students. Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Listen, that's much better than a baby rocking at the top of a tree, and then when the wind blows, the cradle will fall down with the baby cradle along. The kids, it's never a good ending. So I never understood why that was a baby, like a lullaby. It's like, yeah, there's a kid on a tree on a branch. The wind came, knocked the thing out. The baby in the crib, everything fell on the floor. It was terrible, but it's a lullaby. So go figure.
Lullaby, yes. Well, I hope that our listeners have some lullabies tonight, and maybe put a little something in their minds to think that dreaming is good, and our sleep positions say so much about us, and that what incredible brains we have, that they can work for us even while we sleep. So take advantage of all the brain power you have, and let it work for you when you're sleeping, and let it work for you when you're awake too.
That's it. Focus on what is it you want. That's why it's a good practice actually at night. And at night, I don't do this every night, but journaling. It's a good practice to think about 3 things you're grateful for before you go to sleep. And as Tony Robbins says all the time, like, well, okay, I have nothing to be grateful. Okay, what could you be grateful for? What should you be grateful for? And so gratitude is such a big, important thing. And if you think about what you're grateful for, when you're going to go to bed, chances are you're going to be thinking about more things that you're going to be grateful for. And in the morning, wake up and think again, what are you grateful for? So I think that gratitude is a good daily ritual at night, especially. And so I guess we'll kind of leave everyone with that. I like to ask this question of people. So go to sleep with this and think about what maybe this would be. If you were to wake up tomorrow with only the things you were grateful for today, what would you have in the morning? So think about that. What would you have if you only had whatever you were grateful for tonight, tomorrow? If you only had tomorrow what you were grateful for today, what would you have? Would you have a functioning body and digits and fingers and eyes and ears and mouth and lungs and heart and stomach and feet and legs, electricity, running water over your head, loving, a spouse, healthy kids, food on the table? What is it? Your job, your business, your car, your whatever, technology, internet, computer, phone, ability to connect with people. What could you be grateful for? What should you be grateful for? So go to sleep with that and be grateful for the fact that you're going to remember your dreams, and share a couple of those tomorrow. So with that said, Jan, again, I appreciate you so much. Obviously, I love you and your energy, and you're just so much fun to spend time with. And I'm grateful for you spending some time with us again today. And thank you for everyone that is live watching, and for those of you watching on replay. If this episode resonates with you, by all means, tag a friend, share it. We're streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. And thank you again for all your comments, for your questions. And we appreciate you today and every day. We will not be having Tony Talks episodes for the next few days, as I am going to be a trainer with Tony Robbins, helping 22,500 people go through the UPW Unleash the Power Within over the next few days. So I'll be back on Monday with Marketing Mondays with Scott Martin. And of course, we'll have Jan back again in a couple of weeks when she graces us with her presence again. And again, Jan, thank you so much for coming. And don't go away. I'm just going to close it up. But any last words, wise words, words of wisdom?
Wise words. Tony, like you told me when we started this thing with COVID, those of us who give today will be rewarded deeply tomorrow. And so I guess my wise words are just right now, it is a struggle, I think, for a lot of people. But if we keep one foot in front of the other, we still try to stay as positive as we can and stay safe. I mean, bonsoir mes amis is what someone said from France. Bese, kiss, kiss, kiss to you too. So au revoir, mes amis. I'll see you next time, Tony. Thank you so much.
Very good. And don't go away. We'll close this up now. So thank you again for watching, like I said. And remember, my friends, that life is not about how many times you fall. You fall down 7 times, you get up 8. And it's when you fall that you learn, when you get up that you grow. And every single time you fall, you have an opportunity to get up and grow. And grow we must. And remember, stop following your dreams. Don't follow your dreams. Chase them down. Don't just follow them. Chase them down. Otherwise, you'll never catch them. Don't be a stalker. And remember that the best way to reach your dreams and reach your goal, or to achieve your dreams, is to get up and chase them. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll talk soon. Ciao for now. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.